From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 5. Streaming now.
First at 5, hope you've had a chance to enjoy the great December weather the last couple of days because it's just hours away from changing. Rain is on the way from the west, as you can see here. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory is tracking what's ahead. And Kevin, it's going to get pretty wet, isn't it?
It will. Timing just a few hours from now and then through the first of tomorrow. I hold up one finger to say 1 degree. That's what we missed the record by today. That goes all the way back to 1931. We hit 65 in Indy. Okay, off to the west from St. Louis to Chicago, you can see the rain sitting in wait. It's moving to the north and east. Eventually will slide all the way east across Indiana. You can see we're dry right now. Northwest portions of the viewing area will be clipped first. Fowler, Williamsport, Attica, on up towards Monticello and Logansport. That's where a few showers sit right now. Notice the blues to the north and west. That's cooler air. We'll stay on the mild side of this weather system for about the next 24 hours. Relatively speaking, we're at 60 right now. Temperatures in the metro area in the low 60s. And then watch what happens or doesn't happen. Tonight, our temperatures will stay in the 50s all night. Mild when you wake up in the morning and wet. How the temperatures change, though, in the afternoon and on Sunday coming up.
New at 5, Metro Police are investigating a deadly shooting on the east side. This happened shortly before 2 o'clock at the Timber Point Apartments on the 6200 block of Newberry Road. That's off Fall Creek Road, not far from Fort Harrison State Park. Police found a man shot inside of an apartment. He later died at the hospital. If you have any information, you are asked to call Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS. Now to the latest on the COVID-19 pandemic in Indiana. As we wait for the approval and arrival of a vaccine, more people have died from the virus and more people have tested positive. The State Department of Health today reported 71 more deaths in people with COVID. That's 27 fewer than reported yesterday. The deaths occurred between November 12th and yesterday. Add 7,360 more new cases to the overall positive case total. Those numbers were reported between September 24th through yesterday. For many people, those numbers mean a vaccine can't come soon enough, and we are almost there. The first coronavirus vaccine here in the U.S. could be authorized for emergency use within just hours after an FDA panel gave the go-ahead yesterday. ABC's Rena Roy explains what comes next.
This is where it all begins.
We've got tons of people that are working as hard as they can 24/7, 365 days a year to make sure that we get this out.
Workers at the Pfizer plant in Kalamazoo, Michigan, standing by, ready to go at a moment's notice to ship out nearly 3 million doses of the vaccine in ultra-cold freezers by plane and truck in what's considered the largest logistical mission in U.S. history.
There will be no higher priority shipments in our network than these vaccine shipments.
The goal is to hit every corner of the country within just 48 hours after the FDA authorizes emergency use for the vaccine.
We should be seeing the authorization of this first vaccine. We will work with Pfizer to get that shipped out, and so we could be seeing people getting vaccinated Monday, Tuesday of next week.
This after an independent FDA panel of medical experts voted 17-4 Thursday in favor of administering the vaccine for anyone 16 years of age and over.
With the high efficacy and good safety profile shown for our vaccine and the pandemic essentially out of control, vaccine introduction is an urgent need.
There was some concern amongst panelists with 2 healthcare workers in the UK suffering allergic reactions after being given the vaccine. Both have a history of severe allergies. That advisory committee recommending more research should be done, and the FDA saying warnings should go out for people who might be allergic to the ingredients in the vaccine, but also recommending the vast majority of Americans should take it. Experts say healthcare workers and those in long-term care facilities will likely be getting first priority when it comes to the vaccine, but the CDC will be making the final call on that. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
On Tuesday, Vice President Mike Pence will return home to visit a vaccine production facility in Bloomington. His office made the announcement today. He will tour the unnamed facility and lead a roundtable discussion about the vaccination campaign against COVID-19. Healthcare workers know better than anyone the toll the virus is taking on Hoosiers and hospitals around the state. A veteran ICU nurse at IU Health shares a message that she wants you all to hear.
I want to appeal to you also. I know the holidays are here. Christmas is coming. It's a time of family gathering together with friends. The only thing is that I am asking you is to make sure that you follow all the measures that we can take to prevent continuing and spreading this virus. I know that you and I and everyone that is on this earth pretty much knows that the masks are a must. And it continues to be one of the top ways that we can prevent the spread of this virus. You have heard about sanitizing. We have discussed, you have heard all over the importance of maintaining a distance. And it's not easy, especially when we are going into the holiday season. But I'm asking you, as a healthcare worker that is seeing how our numbers are increasing and how we are spreading ourselves very thin, I'm begging you to be mindful of what you're doing to help us curb this.
While we are in what she called a second surge, the number of COVID and suspected COVID hospital patients has slowly declined throughout the week. The high was Monday at 3,250. That number has dropped a bit each day. As of yesterday, it was 3,204. About 21% of ICU beds and 69% of ventilators are still available in hospitals around the state. The Indianapolis Public Library is making changes again for the safety of the staff and public due to the increase in coronavirus cases. Beginning December 21st, the library will limit in-person services to curbside pickup of reading materials, audiobooks, and DVDs. There will be limited walk-in use of computers, printers, and scanners, and it'll be on a first-come, first-served basis with 1-hour time limits. Again, this starts on December 21st and is expected to be in effect through at least mid-January. And the Carmel Walmart is temporarily closed. They posted on social media they closed early today through Sunday morning to clean and sanitize the building to help keep employees and customers safe. The pharmacy will still offer mail delivery and drive-up service in the parking lot, and online grocery service will also be available. The store plans to reopen Sunday at 7 a.m. So many large and small shops are adapting to the pandemic and pivoting to put their businesses online to reach more people. Tonight, WRTV's Kelsey Anderson explains how the pandemic is positively impacting web designers.
We typically attend conferences, walks, outreach events, one-on-one parent trainings, in-person parent trainings. A lot of our business is in person. And so when pandemic hit, it became pretty obvious that we were going to have to pivot quickly.
Carla Webster works for Bierman Autism Center. They provide one-on-one speech and occupational therapy to kids on the autism spectrum.
At the beginning of the pandemic, it was apparent pretty quickly that we were a essential business.
They are still working with children one-on-one, but they aren't able to have parents come in and tour the facility or work with them to fill the gaps at home. So they partnered with Sharp Guys Web Design to help them reach more parents and help more children with autism.
These guys are doing such amazing work helping children with autism. We've done some digital marketing, helping people find them through search, helping people see their ads, and then actually also kind of creating some different plans around email marketing as well for their company.
Cody Sharp runs Sharp Guys Web Design, and he says they were fortunate because the changes caused by the pandemic have brought them a lot of new opportunities.
A lot of companies that were doing a lot of traditional marketing now all of a sudden are starting to look to the web. It's opportunity that's really been there for the last couple of years, but they just didn't realize, they didn't really recognize it a lot of times.
He tells me they work with companies from small mom and pop shops to large manufacturers. And at the end of the day, it feels good knowing his services are keeping some of these businesses afloat.
A lot of our clients are just doing such crucial work. Even we work with dentists and they're doing important work for people's health. We're working with, like our autism clinic here, but we work with manufacturers. All of these people are doing such amazing work. We just are very fortunate. It feels really good to be able to help these people.
Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Well, Sharp Guys Web Design does offer free website analysis. So if you already have a business, a website, but you want to know how to get the most out of it, you can find their contact information in this story in the WRTV app. Still ahead on WRTV, millions of dollars in federal relief dollars not spent by the state. WRTV Investigates is asking state leaders why. Food for those in need, where you can get free veggies, meat, and milk to help ease your financial burden. Kevin?
And look who made a stop in my home studio, Rory Gregory. She usually just runs down here and then leaves quickly. Because rain is on the way, she won't want to go outside later either. May see a half an inch or more. We'll track that, have the timing and temperature change on the way coming up.
Hope tonight for millions of Americans looking for more government help due to the pandemic. Congress has passed a bill to fund the government for another week, giving lawmakers time to reach agreement on a new coronavirus relief bill. Current government aid is set to expire at the end of the month, which includes expanded unemployment aid, a freeze on federal student loan payments, and a moratorium on evictions. The state of Indiana received more than $2.4 billion in help from the federal government, funding meant to help states offset the costs from the pandemic and its impact on the economy. But some are concerned the state still has not spent hundreds of millions of dollars that could help people in need. The Rebound Indiana is our commitment to holding the powerful accountable and making sure your tax dollars are being spent in the best way. WRTV Investigates. Kara Kenny explains how an important deadline is approaching and what it could mean for our state.
At St. Adrian Meats and Sausage, it's a grind.
Our business is almost tripled probably since last year.
They supply beef, pork chops, and brats to restaurants and have a walk-in shop in downtown Lebanon. They're one of 41 meat processing businesses throughout the state of Indiana that received a chunk of $4 million in CARES Act money.
So that little money helped us, get some more product in because, to give us some more cash flow. I think it's great. We've been one of the more fortunate businesses, so the money that we got, was greatly needed at the time. We've actually kind of grown our business.
Recipients can use the funding in a variety of ways as long as it improves Indiana's food supply and increases meat processing capacity. Many businesses are using it to purchase equipment or modify their facilities, like Pig's Tail in Indianapolis. They also received CARES Act money and plan to use it to create retail space in the front of their building.
And over here will be another reach-in cold case.
Pig's Tail makes their money selling salami and hams at farmers markets and through online sales.
It's kind of what the intent is here, is for people to be able to order food online, show up at the door, we can deliver to the car, or they can just step in the door and have it delivered to them.
When the pandemic first hit and everything shut down, the Pig's Tail lost more than $20,000 worth of product here in the aging room because there was nowhere to sell it. Owner Troy Reed is grateful for the federal funding.
That money is vitally important.
The state of Indiana received $2.4 billion from the federal coronavirus relief fund, which was established under the CARES Act. The state has spent or committed to spending $1.7 billion of that, according to the state's website, which was updated on November 30th. That leaves more than $700 million of unspent money.
It's good to look at it, but it's even better to spend it for Hoosiers, to take care of the people that need it the most. People are hurting.
Representative Greg Porter is concerned because December 30th is fast approaching, and he says the state needs to at least designate where the money goes by the end of the year.
We should not bet on the come of getting an extension by the federal government.
The lawmaker also points out the coronavirus relief fund dollars can only cover the March to December 30th timeframe, so the state cannot use it for costs incurred next year.
And if we don't spend it, from my perspective, the dollars could revert back to the federal government.
You're afraid Indiana could lose this money?
Yes.
Porter says the unspent CARES Act money could be used to help the unemployed and to help families with child care, rent, and utilities.
And the people at the grassroots levels who needs those dollars.
WRTV Investigates continues to track how the state is spending federal coronavirus aid. Records show a good chunk has been spent to cover public health expenses and payroll for public health and safety employees. We asked Family and Social Services Administration's Division of Aging how they're spending the $8.4 million in relief funds they received. They've used it to check on homebound older adults and provide them with home-delivered meals, as well as provide support for caregivers such as respite care and counseling.
I think in the whole picture,
we asked the director of the state's Office of Management and Budget, Chris Johnston, to speak with us on camera about spending of CARES Act dollars, but he declined. Via email, he told us some of the money must be obligated by December 30th. Some of the money has expiration dates that extend beyond 2021, and all of the funds allocated to the Coronavirus Relief Fund will be obligated for expenses incurred through December 30th. The funding cannot be used for expenses already in the state budget or to replace missing revenue. Meat processors like Pig's Tail and St. Adrian's say they're proof that federal funding can make a big difference and hope others throughout the state can benefit and beef up as well. Working for you, Kara Kenny, WRTV.
And you can read the Office of Budget and Management's entire response in this story on the WRTV app and on our website at WRTV.com. The state says its report to the federal government through December 30th is due the first hand of January. So many people are struggling to feed their families right now, and with Christmas approaching, it's an even bigger worry. You can get some help tomorrow at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Employees with Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield are holding a mobile food distribution center tomorrow. The goal is to serve up to 2,000 households with fresh produce, frozen meats, and dairy products. The event is no contact and runs from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It will be located at the track's Gate 2 on West 16th Street. And now to your storm team forecast. And Kevin, it might be a little wet for that event tomorrow.
Yes, especially first half of the day, but I think, Mark, in the afternoon, the coverage of the showers and the numerous showers will decrease. I love looking at this. I'm watching then the Indianapolis Zoo parking lot fill up. Christmas at the Zoo tonight, and it will be dry for several hours, so I think obviously you take advantage of these temperatures that are so mild. But that's the walking bridge over Washington Street, takes you up by White River Gardens and the Zoo. The clouds will continue to lower and set the stage for rain. Today would be the 11th straight day without precipitation, but I don't think we'll make it to midnight before it rains. Certainly it'll be raining before that in western Indiana. There's all the rain from St. Louis down to Springfield, Missouri, and then up toward Chicago. This is moving to the north and east. The whole line has to sweep through central Indiana, then transition us to the much cooler temperatures for the second half of the weekend. Again, we've got several hours, I think, before it rains in the metro area. Temperatures will be slow to change. Wind out of the south, cloud cover, temperatures stuck right around 60 degrees now, even at 11 o'clock tonight as the rain approaches, 54. The wind will be gusty, and through the day tomorrow, see gusts over 30 miles per hour. Want to show you the timeline. 7 o'clock, there are the showers, western Indiana, and you can see it overspreading the rest of western half of the state at 11. Through the overnight, you may hear a rumble of thunder, and that would include tomorrow morning as well. Not expecting any severe storms. 56 tomorrow. That's an early day high temperature. Will fall in the afternoon. Cloudy but colder Sunday, 40 degrees. There are the strong winds. Notice the wind arrow out of the south, then southwest, and eventually the west, drawing in the colder temperatures to central Indiana. There are the highs, as I mentioned, through the first half of the day. I would say afternoon, our temperatures fall and will be in the 40s during the evening hours. As far as our rainfall potential, most likely through about noon in Indy, a little longer to the east. The clouds will be with us all day on Sunday, but I think we stay dry with temperatures only around 40 degrees. There's your gray of cloud cover during the day. Sunday, it thins a bit, especially the northwest part of the state, anywhere from Terre Haute to Indy to Muncie. 7-day forecast, you can see what happens here. Temperatures consistently colder. In the 30s all of next week. We'll have a chance for some very light snow as we get to Wednesday of next week, but it looks like it would be light, as I mentioned. It's time for a big thank you to all of you who have helped not just this year, but over the last 2 decades with the RTV6 Toy Drive. Today was a day to go shopping. Our helpers were out putting those dollars to good use. They used that money to very carefully target the greatest needs in age groups that need more gifts. This is the last day for the Toy Drive. You can still make a financial donation at WRTV.com/Toy Drive. If you're going to tonight's Indy Fuel game, be sure and bring a stuffed animal for the teddy bear toss. Now, because of the COVID restrictions, you can't throw it out on the ice, but you can toss it into the bin, and it will go to a young child that'll be very excited to see that. Thanks for making the toy drive a success once again. We'll be back with more news right after this.
Well, 2020 has been a tough year for many people, so this holiday season, one store in downtown Fortville is doing something special. The Time and Again shop has put up wishing tree on the front porch of this gift store. It's where people of all ages have left behind their wishes for the coming year. And some of the wishes include, I wish for my great-grandma to be better. I wish for a unicorn. I wish my 26 weeks of unemployment would come through. And I wish to see my pets again who are in heaven. I also want my Tucker kitty to stay very healthy. What a great idea to have a wish tree like that. The FDA could give emergency approval to the first COVID vaccine at any moment. Tonight at 6, we are working for you, taking your questions to the professionals who will be administering the vaccine. What you need to know. Also still ahead here, a teacher going the extra mile to light up the lives of her students right here in central Indiana.